Hello, everyone. Welcome. Today I have Sabin Karma here with me, and we are sharing our hearts with you guys, and we're going to get a little vulnerable today. So I hope you guys are ready for that because we're going to share our experience from the event we just went to a couple of weeks ago for the InsideOut Institute Mastermind. And oh my gosh, all I can say is wow, like it completely transformed me and I could feel myself step into my full potential. And so if you're just joining us, comment below, tell us hi. If you're catching the replay, go ahead and say #replay, and because we want to interact with you guys, help you out with your journey as well as we share our hearts with you on our own personal experience. So Sabin, thank you for joining me and being here to share your heart with everyone, and let's just get right into
of course
that amazing experience that we had.
It was incredible. I really think it's something that was beyond, it's one of those experiences that's really hard to put into words, but Jacquelyn and I are going to do our best to try and articulate that which really is hard to put into words, because it was so magical and so transformational and so permanent, and we'll get into more of that. It really wasn't just one of those motivational rah, I feel motivated, and then a week later, I'm back to my old self. But everybody's, vibration and energy was lifted, and that's a permanent change. And so we'll talk more about that. But
yeah, so let's just talk about the InsideOut Institute just for a second. So the InsideOut Institute is combining conscious and subconscious healing together through the modalities of transformational leadership coaching and energy healing through the emotion code. And what we're doing is combining these two modalities together to really transform our clients from the inside out. And so that 2 weeks ago, we were able to go to Chicago as a staff and as a collective, first time ever meeting each other face to face. Everything has been virtual. Yes, me and Sabin finally got to meet, and it was incredible because it's different when you connect on that spiritual level and then actually having that human connection where it's like, oh my gosh, I've known you forever, and it wasn't weird, it wasn't awkward, it was like instant family connection, which is incredible, and I've never experienced something like that. And so when we all got there, it was just like the energy was intense, like in a really good way. And so it kind of kick-started the entire event. I'm going to say that. Yeah. So Sabin, let's talk about your experience. So you get to Todd's house. How did you feel walking up those steps, seeing everyone? How did you feel during that?
Yeah, I was, even the night before, when everyone got in before Todd's house, I immediately noticed that, wow, like if I couldn't tell online, in person, we have some of the most talented leadership coaches and energy healers in the world, people with abilities that I really didn't even know were possible, if I have to be completely honest, and it blew me away. But what was even more important was, and the reason I think everyone's, abilities and their abilities to help people were at their max capacity, is because there was so much unconditional love and safety. As soon as you entered the room, within 2 days, people are saying, I love you. I mean, where else will you find that level of unconditional love? And it's really that unconditional love and that safety of that space that allows people to step into their full power, because so many people on the leadership side, but even especially the energy healing side, have received a certain degree of skepticism from the quote masses. And so they've been afraid to really step into the beautiful divine gifts that they have. And so to see them have the safe space to be able to do that, that's really what created the experience that I'll never forget, was the love that allowed people to activate themselves to the full potential. And what I'll say about that is, I think because of the transformative process that everyone goes through at the InsideOut Institute, they've opened themselves up, they've become the most authentic versions of themselves, both subconsciously and consciously, and that allows them to provide the space for everyone else. And then when everybody is more authentic and everybody's unconditionally loving, that combination allows people to step into their full potential. And so it's really, because I've reflected on it deeply, that's the combination for me that really made it so special and let everybody really transform on a permanent, deep level.
Yeah. Even for me, it's like my biggest breakthrough, I'm going to say, was I went to the event with the intention of stepping into my full power, stepping into my leadership role, and opening my heart, because I don't know if you guys resonate with this, but it's very hard for me to let other people in. Like I have to read you. I have to like figure out who are you before I really like show myself to you. And this event completely like pushed me out of my comfort zone in a good way. Like I just felt this immense like love for everyone. And I was like, I'm going to share my heart with you. You get to see who I really am. And that was probably the biggest thing for me, because usually it's like, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you, but no one like helps me. And that was just kind of how I trained myself, and it wasn't healthy. As leaders, we can't only give. We have to allow ourselves to receive. And so for me, that was something that was really big, was wait a second, I have to allow myself to receive these things so I can show my true self to people. And so for me, it's just like allowing that my walls to come down and receiving that unconditional love and support. That's literally probably the biggest thing that happened for me at this event, and allowing myself to step into my gifts and power. And so Sabin, what was like the biggest breakthrough you had at the mastermind?
That's great. I really think it occurred during the hot seat event, which is where, you take one person and you ask them what their biggest struggle was. And I was lucky enough to have Jacquelyn and Todd in the room when I did mine. And I just remember telling everybody, if I'm completely honest, and I actually just thought about this today, where this comes from. I've never felt so loved and adored as I did at the InsideOut Institute Mastermind. People see so many amazing things in me, but I was struggling to see it myself. And so I told everybody in that room that I felt like a fraud. Like everyone sees something that I'm not really. And I traced that back today to when I played ice hockey for 10 years and I got really good at the end. I remember the whole rink, everybody looked up to me and all my brothers, and I could never see it. And I see the parallel. But there was a shift and a breakthrough, as I remember my eyes were closed and I was getting coached by Todd and Aaron, another coach there. And something shifted in me. All the doubt, all the places that I was living in my mind were just ceased to exist. And I went straight to my heart, and my eyes were closed and I was just answering from the depths of my heart, and something rose up in me and I was able to find that power and that fire and that flame. And I was able to step into and really begin to believe what everybody else had been saying. There'd always been that doubt about myself, about what I'm doing, and where I'm going. And somehow in that room, the magic was created to where that was vanished. And so I leave that weekend and, I have the best interview of my life with somebody who was a dream interview for me. I had an incredible live where I'm just sharing from the heart, and people are resonating with it so deeply because they can feel my heart. And I've always been a good speaker, but I was living a little bit too much here because I was doubting myself. And when I talk from the heart, straight from the heart, I know exactly what I'm doing. I know exactly what I'm saying, and I know where I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
So to get that clarity and get that authenticity back and find my voice again was by far my biggest breakthrough.
That's so powerful, because we tend to live in that world where we're all mind, where there's that heart disconnect. And I know for myself, that's been me for a long time. It's like my brain's here, my heart's here. We can live in the heart or we can live in the brain. It's never like connected. Yeah. And for me, like that was huge too. Was like, oh, these things can actually be intertwined. And that's when you're speaking your power and you're stepping into it. But then you're also allowing yourself to like receive it too. Yes. And so that's when you start awakening your intuitiveness. You start getting more downloads. You feel like, wait, I love everyone. And it's like the spiritual high in a way, Totally. It's all resonating. You're like floating on a cloud. But really, we're allowed to like stay in that state, but there's that disconnect. And so I think this event really helped everyone. Not just us, but our families too are being affected, our friends, people are watching this video. Open your heart and mind together. But it's just allowing that safe space to take place so you can step into that space as well.
Totally. And I love what you said earlier, Jacquelyn, and something I struggle with too is really letting others pour into yourself. I think Todd CAHILL put it best when he said, a great leader is also a great follower. I think we get a misconception on that a lot. In order to be a really effective leader on the healing or coaching side, you have to let people pour into you. Coaches need coaches need healers. And we had, 25 coaches / healers in that room. And so when people were talking through their biggest struggle, they weren't just getting coaching from the CEO, Todd Cahill. They were getting all these people with super awesome intuitive abilities, getting all these hits and giving them advice and walking them through relationship problems or getting out of a divorce or everything and anything that was the deepest struggle for them. So when you can get to that core and you have all that love and all that support and people pouring into you, and they love you to death. Like everyone was saying, I love you. Like they love you and they want what's best for you. Their intention is pure and from their heart. And that's when you leave a totally transformed person. And then you ultimately transform your families, the city, the country, the world. That's the real way to true transformation. And it all starts from you and from the space that you're in.
Yeah. And now it's about maintaining that, right? We want to keep it going. We don't want to stop. And that's what I love about this event is because it wasn't just surface level. It was, and when we say transform, like we really mean it from the bottom of our hearts. We're not just saying it. Like you go to that Tony Robbins event and you're so excited. You're like, yeah, I could do it. I'm going to take on the world. And then you go home and, it kind of dies out. But for me, it was like that spiritual level, that connection to myself, allowing myself to open up, look inside myself of like, wait a second, what am I doing? Kind of, analyzing and then changing it's going to stay with me forever. And it doesn't die out. And that's what I loved about this is because you're on that frequency. You have that family support behind you from everyone who's in the program themselves. And I mean, it's a family forever, I feel like, but now like you keep going and we're doing these events like every 3 months. So, we're going to be back and we're going to Sedona, in a couple months. And so I'm really excited for that to happen. So if you're watching and any of this resonates, you want to transform yourself from the inside out, connect to your higher self and transform your life, message me or Sabin. I put my link down below so you can schedule a coaching call with me. And you also can check out the trailer of the mastermind as well from our event that just happened because we want you there too. We don't want to just heal ourselves. We want to heal the world. And so we're all coming as a collective to raise the frequency, especially right now. We're going through really hard times. And, honestly, if we don't raise our vibration as a collective, then I don't think things are ever going to change. And so make sure to schedule. We need you. You deserve to transform yourself and think about your goals for this year. Where do you want to be by next year? And are you going to just kind of let that dream die out? Or are you going to take action? And the other day I heard from one of my mentors, they said that if you don't show up for yourself today or tomorrow, go ahead and burn your vision board. And that was something that resonated with me because it's like, oh, wait, like tomorrow's not going to come. It's today. I have to take action for me to achieve those goals. So from this video, make sure to go and reflect. Where do you want to be? How do you want to transform? And allow yourself to ask for help. And get mentored because that is the biggest thing for me. And I know Sabin's like, let's get mentored. Let's learn everything as much as possible. Because if we don't, then are we really going to transform ourselves?
Exactly. And that's beautiful. Everything Jacquelyn said, I second. And the last thing I want to say is if you want connection, I think at the end of the day, every single human being is longing for connection. And COVID has showed us just how much we need connection. But although you need people to love you, to have connection to one extent, and it seems like it's outside of your control, it's actually not. Because as Jacquelyn said, when you transform yourself from the inside out and you raise your frequency and vibration, you're now a magnet to attract the people that are exactly right to come into your life and the people that will authentically love you for you. Because if you're not authentic, and I know this from personal experience, people will love me for the edited persona I've created. I won't feel that love. That's how I'm not able to receive it. But if I'm fully authentic in me and vulnerable and willing to show my flaws and be proud of them and own them, that's when people love me for that. That's when you experience more unconditional love than you've ever felt in your life. And so it really, as Jacquelyn said, does start with you. So really make that effort, set those goals, transform yourself from the inside out, get the mentorship, get the healing, and the connections on the other side of that. It comes to you and you don't have to chase it anymore.
That's beautiful. Thank you. So everyone, make sure to just connect with us. We're here for you. We're here to hear your message as well. And we love you all. Make sure to tune in on Tuesdays at 11:30 a.m. PST to connect with me and Sabin. We'll be going more on deeper levels of spirituality, connectedness, and we will enjoy having you with us. So thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.
Yes, and can I add real quick, drop IOI in the comments, and we want to personally message you. We want to be the first one to reach out. We know it's hard sometimes to make that first step, so just leave a comment IOI below, and Jacquelyn and I will reach out to you. So
thank you, everyone.